All right, I'm sitting here with Todd Allen, who has arms that are 3 times the size of mine. And I'm actually curious, now that we're getting into this conversation, what are you doing for fitness?
Man, I think it's just from lifting my daughter a lot. She's 6 years old and she still wants me to carry her everywhere. So just
I mean, are you talking bench
it's
presser?
just it's just like real world stuff out there. I haven't been to the gym in a couple weeks now, but just lifting my daughter everywhere.
His other superpower that you guys should know about. Todd came into our office, what, a year and a half ago?
Yeah, about a year and a half.
A year and a half ago, and has annihilated the business. And I'm talking about open house strategies where Todd has done really, really well, where he's converted sellers who bought homes, he's converted at open houses and turned those into closings, and then you've also had long-term clients out of this in short fashion, stuff that wasn't working before that now seems to be really working for you. When you think back on what that success is coming from, is there anything that comes to your mind that maybe is a change that you maybe made or something that's kind of really resonating with consumers?
I think it's just my approach, my mentality when I go into that open house. I think it is also one of the first things that you told me when I first was interviewing here. One of those things that you always said is you always told me that what makes a great, successful like leader, businessman is the ability to solve problems. And so every approach, every person that comes into that open house, it's not like, how am I going to get this sale? It's not that. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's how can I help this person? What does this person need? So for example, if somebody comes into my open house and they're like, I love this home, it's perfect, but they just don't know how to get it. They don't
Yeah.
know the process. That's what we're here for. And you taught me how to do that.
Well, I hope you can teach your daughter that same exact skill because obviously you're finding that conversion happening from there. And so when somebody comes in, are you focusing on trying to make a personal connection with them to figure out where they're at in this process versus trying to just dive in as to, I want to sell you this home?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of my biggest mistakes is when I first started in real estate, there's like 100 different people that tell you 100 different things, and you got to learn all these scripts, you got to learn everything, and it kind of separates you like so far away from yourself. And that's kind of what my biggest fear was like if I start being like a successful realtor, I'm going to lose myself. But really, kind of you taught me to just be authentic because people are smart in this area and they can just like read right through it. So you just have to be your authentic self, but also be the smartest realtor, have the most knowledge. Because when people come into the open house, they don't know who you are and they don't really trust you yet. And
At all.
why should they?
No.
And what really builds that trust is just knowledge and just being honest with them. So I wish I could erase all that all that advice.
Bad coaching.
Yeah, exactly. And just I wish I met Ben 10 years ago and just listened to his like very. It's a simple business, but we make it often like so difficult. So that would be my advice to anyone that just needs help.
And that's a really simple philosophy. And so the same kind of thing happens when you're cold calling someone or you're out there, meeting somebody in a coffee shop. They're not all in the same place trying to buy right then. And figuring out what somebody actually needs, finding a level of connection, and then being able to solve their problems and figure out the solution is, if I'm reading you correctly, is what you're saying is how you win.
Yeah, that's everything right there.
Yeah, and so what typically happens with salespeople is that they'll call. So you'll cold call somebody, right? You'll say, hey, this is Todd, I want to see if you want to buy a house today. They're not ready to buy today, and you're a salesperson, they're naturally going to say, thanks for calling, have a great day, bye.
Exactly.
And they're going to hang up on you.
Yeah, they're not looking to help. They're not coming from a place of help.
They're not coming from a place of help, and they're also not in that state of ready to buy now. And you haven't figured out where they're at. And so it takes a generic approach for somebody to really find a connection where you're really trying to figure out where are they at in the buying process. Because normally when they say no to you at that moment, they're not necessarily saying, no, I don't want to buy a house. They're saying, no, I don't want to buy now.
Exactly.
And people don't even recognize that. They're not saying no to you, they're just saying no to it right now. And so once you figure out how to get past that, and you figure out where they're at, solve their problems, you're winning over and over again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's one of my first experiences here was on a listing presentation. I was all devastated that I didn't get it. And it's like, you didn't get it today, but oftentimes they'll call you back a few months later or something else will happen. When one door closes, 10 doors open in real estate. It's just crazy if you come from a value or an approach of like value. How can you service these people? Even if they're not buying anything from you, just help people out.
And what he said also is just such a fact. He comes there prepared. This guy is always super prepared. Knows the market statistics, everything else that's on the market there, knows everything about the house. I watch him download the reports every single time before he goes into an open house. So you're able to advise on that property, other homes in the market conditions in general across the nation, and then try to figure out where they're at and then help them through whatever situation they're in. I love it, dude.
Yeah.
No wonder you're crushing, man.
Thank
Proud
you,
of you,
man.
buddy.
Couldn't have done it without Strock, though. You've helped me with everything.